You know, you look at walleye fishing early in the season, doesn't matter where you go, jigs and minnows or jigs and soft plastics are just kind of a staple, whether you're fishing river systems, reservoirs, or natural lakes. And the thing with jig fishing is obviously it's all about sensitivity, it's all about feel, and that's what makes it so much fun. That's why anglers enjoy it so much. But tell you, when it comes to using minnows, I'll show you a few things here that I really believe. I'm just gonna take just a fathead minnow, which this is just a Engel bait cooler. The ANS, invasive species laws, a lot of states are requiring this instead of using a bait whale, but once you use it, you'll wonder why you didn't use it before. But the one thing that we get asked a lot each year when it comes to rod and line, when it comes to jig fishing, is braid versus mono. And it's almost like some people make it a competition where some people are convinced that braided line is a lot better. There's other people that are convinced that mono is a lot better. And what I encourage people to do is look at braid and mono as complementing each other in the sense that there's advantages to both, there's pros and cons to both, and a lot of times I like to have both in the boat, and I'll switch back and forth all the time between braid and mono. Now obviously with braided line, you don't have any stretching, so you have a lot more sensitivity. And one advantage that has is if you have a rod that isn't the best rod, it's not as sensitive of a rod, you can make that rod more sensitive by just adding braided line. Now the thing with braided line is also with no stretch is that you have a lot direct contact to the fish, and a lot of times I'll start out using braid because I like the durability of it, but if I'm missing fish or if I can't get bit, there's something about 6-pound monofilament, the way that monofilament just floats and glides through the water. It's a lot more subtle, that a lot of times I'll find that one definitely outperforms the other, and you never know. But if I'm missing fish with braided line, a lot of times I find out that I'll hook up with those fish using mono. If I'm dumping fish on mono, or if I'm missing fish or I'm just getting the head of the minnow back, a lot of times by just switching it to braid, you know, you'll hook up. And so switch back and forth. If you're on fish and you're struggling and you're missing fish and you're using braid, try mono, or vice versa. And a lot of times just that switch will save your day in a lot of cases. Because I think what happens sometimes, especially with monofilament, is that these fish come up behind that minnow and they grab onto it and they just keep choking up on it. And with braid, yeah, you can feel the fish, but the fish can also feel you. And so with monofilament, you just have that mushiness where that fish doesn't feel you right away, and you get that minnow and that jig all the way in before you finally feel it, and then you crack them. And so definitely something to experiment with. Don't ever say that one is better than the other. Learn to love them both, and I guarantee you're gonna catch a lot more fish on a jig this year.